And hello everyone! Today we are back on our programming course thingy. Give it a name. This is episode 2, and in the previous episode we made a start with our mining program. And with that we initialized a few starting functions that we will need for now and later on. And we made a first impression with a slice of our mining script. There were some flaws in it, since it doesn't mine that corner and it doesn't mine this corner. We need to implement that, and that's what we are going to do today. And along with that, use a few more variables, make it all a little bit more customizable for later on. So I will take our programming notepad by edit. And we will start with why that corner wasn't mined. So let's see. When we start, it will turn left. That's good. And it will try to dig and go dig up and go up. So at the end, it's already at 10. Let's say it correct. Yeah, it's already at 10. So it is at this maximum height that it wants to go. And then this part of the code doesn't get executed anymore. Makes sense. And the same thing happens down here. So we can do two things. We can basically add a dig, sort of a dig here, which will work actually. I think that's a pretty simple and neat solution. Another thing was, and that's a thing I did in the past, actually say if n is not equal to 10, then do this. Or don't do a second mining thingy here on the end. But it will always happen there. Yeah, it just makes sense. Dig. G is nothing. Dig is something, and here at the end, before it turns back, we'll make it mine again. Dot dig. And let's see what that is going to do. Let's see if it takes that corner, and if it does, that would be correct. Nice. And now it will go down and see if it takes this one again. Yeah, it does. Let's see if it really clears 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it does 10 blocks. We don't need to do anything for that. Let's make it a little bit more customizable, and we will do that by setting up a variable for the height. It will be a local variable. It will make life a bit easier later on. Width equals, we go for 15, oh, 50, no, 15. So this will be no longer 10, right? And then this one as well, of course. And use some spacing, just make it a bit neater. Remove those comments. We don't need those again. We do need a refuel, of course. If we don't have fuel, then we won't get anywhere. Let's see if it goes higher this time. Yeah, we saved. At least it turns. I want to make it flush with the ceiling, pretty much. That's nice. That will work. Looks good. Looks good. So let's continue now for the distance. And of course make that a local. I have had some weird issues in the past not having that. Let's keep it on 2 for now, otherwise it will take up so much time. So we'll make all of this into another for loop. And now for distance. 4, can we do that with n? N will probably mess up everything. Just get an m. Will be 1 from 1 to distance, of course. So, increase by 1. Do all of this. Put the end here. And hopefully that will be it. Yeah, let's try this. I'm pretty sure something is going wrong now, but only one way to find out. So it is getting down, so it is at least executing everything, and it goes up here again. And of course, that's because we haven't said that it needs to move forward and mine and all that kind of stuff. So it did exactly what we typed in. And like always, it's never the fault of a turtle. It's always the person who typed everything. So let's implement that. It went all the way back. It needs to dig. So dig. And then it needs to move forward. And then it will be ready for the next run. So yeah, let's see how it goes. It goes up. Well, that's still the same thing. We have seen that now a few times already. And goes in and mines. That's great. Let's see if we still have to improve this function, or this for loop. There's only one way to find out, basically. Yeah. Okay. You could say that's quite handy. That the turtle goes in after it has been run. I'm not personally a big fan of that. I kind of want it to be like you place a turtle in front of a wall and then it will dig itself in. I think that works a bit easier. So how are you going to make that? Well, the first dig in should not be that difficult. You can just add that ahead of the loop. We don't know if it has fuel. So we have to check for that and refuel if necessary. And then refuel, and what else we want to dig. Turtle.dig, and we have forward. It's a bit hard to type at times. And of course, it doesn't need to dig in if it is finished. So if it isn't finished, it's just looking from the other side. If it isn't finished, then it has to mine forward. Mine and forward. So let's put that exactly in here. If m is not equal distance. So if it is distance, then this will not be executed. Distance, then do this. Let's see how this works. So we have to move this one back a bit. Oh, there's no back, okay. Go back. Okay, that makes sense. So now it is in front of the wall again. Let's see how this runs. So it goes in, it mines, and pretty much the rest isn't that big of a deal anymore, because we know that will work no matter what. So it will go up, and it will go down. That's all really nice and good. And that's the second run. That's good. See how that one goes. Yeah, that's well, that's the thing with programming. You need to test a lot. The less you test, the more stuff that will probably break without noticing you, and that's a scary thing. So always keep testing. If you think you are finished, just keep testing. And it just stops. And it finished, so that's good. So this is working now. What will be next? I think making stuff a little bit easier to work with, that we have to type in a certain distance. I think that might be handy. I think especially long term, you want to do maybe more slices down into a cave. Now we are just doing 2 runs, and that is not really efficient most of the time. Maybe you want to go like 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. Then it's easier to make that, to type all of that in. That's actually quite easy here in ComputerCraft, and we can use that for just a simple variable, and we can do that by curly brackets, a triple dot, and close the curly bracket. That will now read if we give extra parameters at the start of the program. So now I always use double L. I will explain that in the next episode. But after this we can now type like double L, and then let's make it easy, just a 1. And a 4 must be a limit. For limit must be a number, and that is probably because distance is now an array. It's a different type of variable, and that's not a number. Let's see if we can fix that with this. Would be great, but I have actually never tried it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's change this to input. Input and local distance is input 1. We'll explain more about that in a later episode. This should do it. Just go back, then unrun, and that seems to be working again. It's kind of a workaround, but it seems to be working. And we just did it once, so it should be going back here in this exact spot without any problems. That's neat. This will make life a bit easier later on. Hey, that's interesting. So if we send a 1 into the turtle as in distance, then it will not do this. Okay. So if not equal to distance, of course in the last thing now was actually that it was equal. So okay, it makes sense. Then this it started at 1, so it was equal. This should not be executed. Let's see what happens if we make this to smaller than distance. Maybe that will change something. And it does go in. I'm wondering if it is going back down again. You can already see here in my whole bar that I have multiple things. 2 of them are add-ons to an existing computer or pocket computer, also called a tablet, or just to a turtle and make some extra use out of them. That will be used in future episodes. It did give warning. It's interesting. Attempt to compare string with number expected. Got string. And that's exactly at this line. So attempt to compare a string with number. At least that's what it was expecting. But got a string. So it wants to compare this to a number, and apparently distance is not a number. There's just one way to figure out if that's correct. That's to print out the type of distance. And that's actually just a thing. Type of distance, double bracket. And run this again. Since it didn't dig in, let's see how it goes. It's a string, okay. So we need to convert it into a number. Luckily, that's not too difficult. This does just a to-number function, and if it consists out of numbers, then the code will just see it as a number. And the same thing is true for toString. Then whatever you put into it will be made into a string. Let's see if to number, capital N, distance. Let's see if this is something. If it isn't, then it's probably without a capital. Okay, this one did nothing. It is a without, okay. And go back. And yeah, so it goes past that point, so I know that distance should be a number as we expect it to be. That's progress, and I think when it goes down will be a nice ending point for this chapter. A bit shorter chapter. We made important progress. So let's end it here for this episode. So we made, well, we probably so we went from a pretty static script with just fixed numbers and not too much of an input that you could give to it, to a script which will be running a height that you can adjust at one specific place, and also an amount of distance certain distance that you can give up when you initialize the script or execute the script, just how you want to call it. I think that's a handy improvement on our previous script, and that's where I'm going to end it for this episode. In the next episode, I will actually take a couple of steps back, go more into the basics, and that will be a bit more of a tutorial episode. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, night, evening, dinner, whatever it is, and see you next episode.